Of the second Broadband India Summit 2024, which is being organized by Bharat Exhibitions and Broadband India Forum. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll go ahead with the proceedings of the inaugural session in about 10 to 15 minutes from now, as soon as the Honorable Chief Guest and other dignitaries are here with us. Meanwhile, we have hot cup of tea and coffee served outside. You may kindly help yourselves to a cup of tea and coffee and then be seated, be comfortable, and all mobile phones are requested to be kept on to silent mode from now onwards till end of the summit. Thank you once again and a warm welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, requesting everyone to kindly be seated. Our dignitaries are here and we are all set to go ahead with the proceedings of the inaugural session of the second Broadband India Summit 2024.
Across geographies and across industries, we design solutions that advance bandwidth and speed. Solutions that scale to meet growing demand, enabling new interactions and experiences. And as emerging technologies reshape the network landscape, our customer partnerships solve for future needs, with foundational innovations born of research and development to shape the networks of tomorrow.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again requesting all those who are standing at the back at the exhibition counters are kindly requested to step forward and be seated. We would also request for all mobile phones to be kept on to silent mode.
Chennai is a place of 8 million people, so the number of people...
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our Honorable Chief Guest, Shri Neeraj Vermaji, IAS Administrator, Digital Bharat Nidhi, Department of Telecommunications, Ministry of Communications. May I invite you, sir, to kindly grace the stage with your august presence. Inviting our guest of honor, Shri A. Robert J. Ravi, Chairman and Managing Director, Bharat Sanchar Nigam Limited. Inviting Mr. T.V. Ramachandran, President, Broadband India Forum, Mr. Dharmendra Khajuria, National Head, Network Partnerships, Bharti Airtel. May I invite Mr. Andrew Bond Webster, Vice President, Broadband APAC Commscope. May I invite Mr. Sanjay Nagpal, Director, Go-to-Market Taara. I invite Mr. Puneet Garg, President and Group Wireline CTO Reliance Jio. I invite Mr. Anil Tandon, Director General Broadband India Forum, and Mr. Shashidharan, Bharat Exhibitions, to kindly join us on the stage, please. Namaskar and good morning. Respected dignitaries, esteemed guests, participants, respected members of the press and media, ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome to the second Broadband India Summit 2024, Connecting the Unconnected, which is being organized by Bharat Exhibitions and co-organized by Broadband India Forum. The summit holds immense importance as we collectively aim to bridge the digital divide and create a digital Bharat where connectivity reaches even the most remote corners of the country. Today's summit will focus on the theme Connecting the Unconnected for Digital Bharat, with a special emphasis on wireline and wireless connectivity, fiber optic networks, 5G satellite communications, and 5G intelligent villages. Together, we will explore how innovative solutions can transform connectivity across rural, urban, and remote regions, ensuring no one is left behind in the digital revolution. And let us begin this landmark event with the auspicious lamplighting ceremony. I have the honor in requesting Honorable Chief Guest and dignitaries on the dais to kindly light the ceremonial lamp and formally inaugurate the summit.
महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा.
And let's put our hands together as the second Broadband India Summit 2024 has been formally inaugurated by Honorable Chief Guest and other dignitaries with the auspicious lamplighting ceremony. By lighting the diya, we invoke the goddesses and gods, seeking their blessings to guide us for the success of our endeavors. And may I request for a group photograph, sir, with the lamp, a group photograph. Thank you. Thanking all our dignitaries for kindly doing the honors. You may kindly be seated, sir. Bharat Exhibition is a leading event management and trade promotion company in India that specializes in organizing high-profile conferences, exhibitions, and trade shows across various industries, particularly in the fields of telecommunications, broadband, IT, and emerging technologies. Through its events, Bharat Exhibition plays a crucial role in fostering dialogue, collaboration, and partnerships between the public and the private sectors, helping to drive the growth and development of key industries in the country. The company's vision is to support India's growth story by promoting innovation, technology adoption, and policy frameworks. To formally welcome everyone, it is my pleasure to invite Mr. Shaildhar, Managing Director of Bharat Exhibitions, for the welcome address. Mr. Shaildhar has been at the forefront of organizing forums that bring together industry leaders and policymakers to advance India's broadband landscape. And let's welcome Mr. Shaildhar for the welcome address.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Bharat Exhibition has been connecting the unconnect for the last 21 years. We started in 2003, sir, and we've been organizing only the trade shows, including the DOT, the TRAI, ITU, along with now BIF. We are doing last couple of years events on broadband, smart cities, data centers, Wi-Fi, etc. I take this opportunity to welcome the chief guest who has taken out time from his busy schedule, Sri Neeraj Verma, IAS Administrator, Digital Bharat Nidhi. The name has been changed, if you all remember. Sir, welcome to Broadband India 2024. I invite to the Robert Reviji. Welcome, sir. Thank you very much. I know from your busy schedule, you have taken out time to join us. We also have Puneet Garg, who is all the way from Mumbai with us, joined from Jio, who is the president of Reliance Jio, the broadband for the Reliance Jio. He is here with us, president and group wireline CTO. We have Sri T.V. Ramchandran, the president of Broadband India Forum with us, sir. Thank you very much for joining us. Sanjay Nagpal, director, go-to-market Taara. Sanjay, thank you very much for joining us today. Andrew Bourne Webster, Vice President, Broadband Asia Pac Commscope. Andrew, thank you very much all the way from traveling for this conference. Thank you so much for joining us. My good friend, Dharmendra Khajuria, National Head Network Partnership. Dharmendra, thank you very much. and Brigadier Anil Tandon, Director General, Broadband India Forum. Sir, thank you so much for joining us. India is the brink of entering a new phase of growth facilitated by the government's ambitions, and progressive progress broadband can simulate the growth significantly, with stakeholders coming together to define ambitious yet realistic goal, working towards achieving them. I'm very happy to see the various departments here, including the CRPF, the Army, the Air Force, and the telecom fraternity here. So I don't want to spend much of a time on welcoming on this, because we have a beautiful panel here where we all waiting for to listen to them, and all have to rush back to their offices to their duty. So with this, I welcome you all to the Broadband India 2024. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed, sir, for your warm words of welcome and setting the tone for today's discussions. Ladies and gentlemen, our co-organizers, Broadband India Forum is dedicated to the development and enhancement of the broadband ecosystem. And we are honored to have with us Mr. T.V. Ramachandran, President, Broadband India Forum, who has been a driving force behind the broadband evolution in India. He has been instrumental in shaping the policies and infrastructure that are paving the way for a more connected and highly inclusive India. And I now have the proud privilege in inviting Sir for the inaugural address. Let's put our hands together to welcome Mr. T.V. Ramachandran.
Thank you, Sapna. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, Mr. Chief Guest, respected Chief Guest, Mr. Neeraj Verma. Good morning, eminent special guest of honor, Mr. Robert Ravi, CMD BSNL, and other esteemed and eminent colleagues on the dais today. As Broadband India Forum, I cannot imagine not being here for the Broadband India Summit. And when my great friend Shaildhar told me that this is going to happen on such and such a date, I said, definitely I'll be there, though I come from Chennai nowadays. So it is my pleasure to be with you all and share a few thoughts on this occasion. I'm not supposed to give any long talk, but I have a short presentation, and before that I wish to say something. Because my purpose, my objective is, given to me terms of reference is that I have to set the context and introduce the day and its proceedings to you all. I think no better way than to start with something about internet, something very profound which one of the fathers of what we are all doing, Mr. Bill Gates said. I think many of you might be aware of that. It's a very famous statement of his. He said, internet is becoming, I would say fast becoming, the town hall for the global village of tomorrow. A very profound statement. You all know what's a town hall? A town hall is where everybody can congregate, ask any questions, be answered, entire community, public, private, everybody. So this has become, internet is really veritably that. It is a source, a fountainhead of all wisdom, all knowledge. And that is the global village of tomorrow. And as you all know, well, Bill Gates was right. But it is now forcibly true that it's not just that. Plain vanilla internet is no longer the requirement of the day. It is meaningless. It is valueless to have plain old internet, which was a dial-up internet. What we all ask for today is high-speed broadband, which is consistent and reliable. Not momentarily high-speed and good, but which should be consistent and reliable and secure. Security is a paramount consideration. So in that scenario, we need to discuss the aspect of broadband, how it is to pervade all aspects of our living, and how, like the government has said, it should be a broadband for all, by all, for all, purposefully all, throughout the country, leaving no one behind. That is the motto, and today, whether it is a remote villager in Assam or any other even more remote place, inaccessible place, whether it is somebody in the suburban areas or even in Delhi, for example, you go to Badli village or some place like that, are all connected? No. There's a lot of scope for further improving on that. And connecting the unconnected is the biggest motto today. And we cannot be more fortunate than to have Mr. Neeraj Verma and Mr. Robert Ravi, who are both championing this particular aspect of connecting the unconnected today. So it's a very great pleasure for me to take a 5-10 minutes of yours and see how we can go for good broadband. Everybody is demanding that. How do we provide that? And we have all seen that in pandemic also. Despite whatever telecom connection we have, despite however good the pipe, unless the content is there to give good broadband, you are lost. You would have lost the game in the pandemic. Therefore, the objective in this broadband summit, I humbly submit today, is that the entire proceedings will be focused only on how this is to be achieved without leaving anyone behind. That's the purpose. I have no answer. You people are all going to discover the answer with the eminent panelists and speakers who are going to follow. So my job is easy. I just state what is the end objective of both Shashi and myself in having these broadband summits. I'll just take the liberty of 3-4 slides to talk about. Like I said, connecting the unconnected. How do I move this here? Oh, this one, okay. I think it's important to see what are we talking about. Broadband today is not a single thing. It's not a single vertical. When we want broadband, we want the summation of several critical elements. And they're all listed here. And it's not my word or your word or DOT's word. It is the world's highest standards authority, ITU. They have laid down what are all the elements which have to go into broadband infrastructure. And this doesn't mean also that everybody is equal. As a great thing goes in law, equal is not equitable. They all have to be in a calibrated, proportionate manner, which is required. The summation of the whole must be larger than the whole. And these multiple technologies are required to build a robust infrastructure. Where are we today in all some of these verticals? I can't deal with all those verticals in this 5-10 minutes allotted to me, but I'll just present a big picture about you, just to show how India today offers a tremendous potential in many verticals. Why are we all so enthusiastic about broadband? Because it offers everything to everybody, every segment, every technology. How do we see that? Mobile penetration, we are very good. We are a mobile first country. And we are far ahead of the other verticals. But even then, we are only 75% of the global average. So you got still tremendous scope in this country. You look at fixed broadband, which is the ultimate broadband. Fixed broadband is probably the most robust, most reliable way of having broadband. And there we have got an incredible scope. Global average of penetration is 18.4, we are only 2.95. So 1/6, about 16% of the global average. And this is required for consistent, reliable and high quality broadband. Without fixed, you won't get that. SATCOM. India is going great places with ISRO and what we are doing in SATCOM. But with all that, it is still, there is a huge potential, as you can see. And SATCOM can go where terrestrial networks cannot go, which are the remote and inaccessible areas. So that is the most important bridge, sirs, for our digital divide. And we need to see how to exploit it, leverage it to the maximum. Public Wi-Fi, when you talk of wireline, when you talk of fixed broadband, it automatically goes with public Wi-Fi at the end. So we have to have public Wi-Fi in a much more universal way. And here again there is tremendous scope. In India we are less than 0.5% of the world's norm. So just the amount of opportunity in all this is fantastic. And look at the final end bottom line is, what are the net unconnected? Of course, Mr. Neeraj Verma and Mr. Robert Ravi know this backward. Even if you wake them up in the middle of the night, they can give us a talk on that. The extent of net unconnected, we have got this much. We have gone way, way ahead compared to where we were, but the scope for growth is still excellent. And our opportunity as a market value is estimated to be about 35 billion per annum. That's humongous. Which country can offer you that? Oh, sorry. How is it going backward? Sorry. A little more data about fixed broadband. I mentioned it, it's most reliable. It's in fact the world's data carrier. 83% of global data traffic is carried on fixed broadband. Fixed broadband is exploding. It is exploding. Worldwide data tells us that it is growing 20 to 30 times the mobile. 20 to 30x of what mobile is today, whether it is in Europe or USA or elsewhere. In India itself, the preliminary trials which BSNL did some time ago showed 10x in the nascent trial. So mobile data in India will also grow multiple fold. 3 times. That of course will happen because, as I said, there is scope even in mobile. So all the whole, India will have to grow its data demand, whether you like it or not, by several fold by 2030. This is very funny. I don't know why. Go back. No. This gives you my final slide. I end where I started. The picture we need to have of internet and broadband is a holistic picture. This is what we have made. This is something which tells you pictorially that there is a scope and a role for everything. The technologies are in the vertical, where you want speed and capacity, which way to go in technology. If you want capacity and speed, go up from SATCOM, low latency, it's high latency, up to highest level is fixed broadband on fiber. Fixed broadband not on copper or coaxial, on fiber, that is the ultimate. Mobile broadband is in between, and the color intensity tells you how these parameters are growing or diminishing. Population, color intensity is highest in the remote, not because of density, but because 70% of our population is in the villages, 65 to 70%. So we have to give highest priority to them. We cannot afford to leave them behind. So that is my final thought with you all for the day. I have no ready answers. I'm looking to this group to come up with some answers, and the proceedings of the day will be documented, and we will get back to you with suitable recommendations as we go along. Thank you all for a very patient hearing. Have a good day. I wish you all the best. Thank you, Shashi. Thank you. Back to you.
Thank you very much indeed, Mr. Ramachandran, for your inspiring words and for outlining the roadmap to achieving Digital Bharat through broadband connectivity. Your leadership and commitment to expanding broadband across India is truly commendable. And ladies and gentlemen, today we hear from two of the key players in the broadband space, Reliance Jio and Airtel, who are at the forefront of advancing India's broadband infrastructure. I have the privilege in first inviting Mr. Puneet Garg, President and Group Wireline CTO of Reliance Jio, to kindly share the perspective on wireline connectivity and how Jio is contributing to India's fiber optic network expansion. So let's put our hands together to welcome Mr. Puneet Garg for the operator keynote address.
So good morning, everyone, and it is pleasure to be in front of you. Thank you, Shashiji, for arranging this wonderful event today. Thank you, distinguished chief guest, Neeraj sir, Robert sir, and other colleagues, including TV sir. So I'm going to cover today like a very interesting topic calling Connecting the Unconnected for Digital Bharat. I guess we are not here for a match-making connectivity, but it's a real connectivity where we are going to connect customers, their homes, and how we can bridge the digital divide which is still prevailing in our country. So I have very few slides. I will run them very quickly. So what is the real thing which is happening in the market? If you see, like we are having, which TV sir said, we have connectivity starting from rural villages all the way to urban areas. And if you see, is there any digital divide with mobile broadband, 4G coming in, 5G coming in, which Jio has taken a leadership position and rolled out world's fastest 5G connectivity in these kind of remote villages as well. Are we able to provide connectivity in those places? The answer is yes, because we are covering more than 60% of the villages now are connected on 5G. But in today's discussion, we are talking like how we are going to connect them on fixed broadband line, which is basically spanning across many technologies, which we'll discuss as we move forward. And the second important thing which we need to ensure is basically in this digital divide, like how we connect every Indian, every home with broadband. Because when we start connecting these homes with a very cost-effective model, which India is very famous for, and with these cost-effective models, if we can connect these homes in the remotest part of villages, then it is the real broadband experience which we can give them. With that, they can be connected to the digital world. They can be connected to the world of knowledge, and that's how we are going to create an economy which is basically based on knowledge. So what we are going to do with this whole thing is we are creating an economy which is knowledge-based. And this knowledge-based thing will be a bright future for all our new generation who is going to adopt this thing very quickly and start learning from it, whether they are sitting in the remotest parts of the villages or in the urban areas where they can access the same kind of content which an urban guy can see as well as a village guy can see. With this, we will be able to bring them the same finance models, the same kind of education, the same kind of telemedicine, the same kind of solutions which village guy can see as well as our person who is sitting in the corporate world can see. And this will ensure that we make our generation always stay connected and stay happy. And the important thing which I want to tell you is internet is not all about digital education, connecting people, etc., but it's about entertainment so that we can keep our customers happy. What Jio has done in last 7 years, a very quick snapshot, we have built 2 digital platforms. One is a connectivity platform and second is a services platform. In the connectivity platform, we are India's largest operator with over 481 million customers between mobility and homes. We carry 60% of India's wireless traffic. Happy to tell you, we become India's largest and world's largest operator in terms of traffic carrying capacity. We carried 41 exabyte of data on our network, which is surpassed from China any operator. So this is a very good achievement. On a lighter note, if you see, like, we are connecting more than US population, which is around 235 million US customers. On digital services platform, we are having our most popular portfolio applications, MyJio, etc., with which we are able to give customers connectivity. We provide compute of 130 plus megawatt in this country, and we have 250 million Indians are currently using our broadband connectivity options. So what is there in terms of total scope? If you see in India, there are approximately between 1.4 billion people who are residing in 300 million homes in 4,000 cities and 650,000 villages. This is the scope of connectivity, in my opinion, from when we are talking about the true broadband. What are the solutions which we are exploring? We are exploring them connected on the fiber. We are rolling out fiber as we speak. Then the Jio Air Fiber, the FWA slice with which we are connecting our customers. This is the only SA network on which we are proud to connect our customers in much faster way than any other competing technology. And the remotest part of the villages where we are not able to reach, then we are providing the connectivity through satellite. What is the opportunity? Opportunity is definitely reach. The faster we reach, better we will be able to provide connectivity to customers. The speed, this speed is both speed of execution as well as speed with which the customer start using the content and getting connected to the world. And the most important thing, as TV sir said very briefly, but I would be spending more time on how customer is experiencing it. It is not all about connectivity. We can connect customers on 10 Mbps speed, but really the 10 Mbps speed is sufficient in today's parlance. The answer may be yes, maybe no. But in my strong belief is basically we need to provide the customers the true capacity or true throughput with which he can enjoy the services which he has opted for or which he is using for. So what would be the outcome? The outcome would be, like, with this approach, we would be able to connect every home in the country. The speed of execution will be fast with the product like Jio Air Fiber, and the quality of experience on Jio Fiber and with FTTH would be same, so that customer will be able to enjoy the same quality of service what we have opt for or providing on the FTTH. So now we have connected the customer. Right? Now, if we go inside the customer home, if you see the home or the broadband in home is called Wi-Fi. The customer with whom I speak, nobody tell me like it's a Jio fixed line network or something. They always tell your Wi-Fi. So now internet or broadband has become changed to a Wi-Fi. Earlier, so that Wi-Fi needs to be on, that needs to be always connected, and that needs to provide the quality of experience which is similar to what we are seeing outside home, which is based on 4G, 5G, which is always on. 10 years back, there were only 2 or 3 devices used to be connected on the network. Now what we are seeing on an average 7 to 8 devices are getting connected on the network. And these devices basically ranges, you all are user of these devices at home. So you know more better than me like how these devices are consuming Wi-Fi or data bytes at home. So what is happening with this whole thing is your network, which we used to run from data centers or from POPs, now started shifting towards the home. So now home is becoming a mini network, right? And if I'm going to connect 100 million homes, then I need to manage these 100 million mini networks, right? Which is not going to be physically possible with humans. So what we are going to do is basically we need to bring AI and ML capability. And we need to create a kind of solution with which these all 100 million small mini networks can be monitored, managed, and managed by the customer himself. He does not need to come to the operator and telling us, hey, this thing is working, this thing is not working, I need to buy this solution, I need to pay this way. These all things should happen through system automatically. And this is the paradigm under which Jio is working. We are taking the smart home into a next level of connectivity where customer, whatever want to do it at home, we are making it possible. This is one of the customers, I would not be taking her name. She's thanking Jio that we have made her life so easy at her home that from morning to evening, whatever she does at home, it is all digital. She walks into kitchen, she is able to, her lights gets on, she is able to make her morning breakfast, and all the daily mundane and routine jobs, she is able to do it through the system. So the whole thing is basically we are creating AI-enabled homes with which we are able to provide the smart services in the home. And with these 100 million homes, we are going to create 100 million AI-connected homes in this part of the world. So again, from 300 million homes, we have taken a charter of connecting this 100 million AI-enabled homes. Continuing on the same thing, as I spoke, we need to connect these homes. We need to provide the Wi-Fi experience at home. The third thing is basically these 100 million small network, mini networks. We need to empower customers so that they can manage what they want to see, what they want to buy, what they want to fix. And on the same line, what we have done is basically we have created a MyJio app on the mobile handset, so they can pay all their services of broadband through a single click. They can subscribe any services from the mobile application. They can monitor, watch, add, delete any of the services which they want to see or we want to remove from the system. So this is what we are doing very proudly in the market. This is all AI and ML inbuilt, and this has the highest viewership and that has the highest download application in India. So what we are giving? We are giving customer experience so that they can make their life comfortable and they can enjoy the real power of broadband. What is our product proposition? Product proposition is very simple. We are making home broadband enabled. We are making them TV connected, and then we are making them smart devices. So where are we so far? So far we have connected 14 million customers. We are in present, like we are in present home pass, like around 70 million home passes we have done so far. Our customers are enjoying up to 1 Gbps speed, and set-top box side on an average, like they are watching 6 hours of content per day, and we are seeing 400 gigabyte of data download per month per customer, which is from an international market perspective. If I see US is consuming around 500 gigabyte per month, and we are approaching very close to 400 gigabyte per month. TV sir has briefly spoken about it. What we are seeing is basically by 2030, we believe these numbers will be 4 times than what we are seeing it today. So with this kind of humongous growth of network, with this kind of humongous growth of data, we need to have a super highways which needs to carry this traffic to our data centers, to the international POPs, so that the content can be given to customer. Jio Air Fiber is accelerating these connected homes, and our vision of 100 million homes will be getting realized through this Jio Fiber. If I peep into very briefly, like what is happening on to Jio Air Fiber, it is very simple thing. We are deploying an ODCP outside the customer home. That ODCP gets connected on 5G network to the nearest base station G0B, and from that ODCP we pull a cable and get connected to the home gateway of the customer. And then all the services which customer want to use, whether it's a 8K streaming, 4K streaming, or surveillance, or anything which customer wants to see or use, is getting realized for them the same way what FTTH used to offer. So I'm not going to discuss anything today on FTTH because we have spoken many times on FTTH, but FWA is giving a lot of fast speed of execution, and we are able to connect more India as we speak. Seamless Jio experience in terms of set-top boxes. We have connected 16 OTT application on our platform. It's a single sign-on. With a single click, customer can watch Netflix, Amazon Prime, anything which Hotstar or JioFiber or Jio Cinema. Everything is possible through a single click. So customer do not need to buy separate packs and then keep on logging in from email to email into this whole thing. So with this, what we are doing is we are connecting the unconnected, and I am pretty confident that next time when we meet, we will be having a more better story to tell in terms of number of connected homes are increased and customers are enjoying more and more services that we are selling in the market. With this, thank you very much, and Shashi, thank you very much for organizing this.
Thank you very much indeed, Mr. Garg, for providing us with insights into how Reliance Jio is driving the fiber optic evolution in India, creating a robust broadband ecosystem. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now honored to hear from our guest of honor, Shri A. Robert J. Ravi, Chairman and Managing Director, Bharat Sanchar Nigam Limited, BSNL. BSNL, which is one of the biggest connectivity provider of the country, has been a pillar of connectivity in India. BSNL plays a crucial role in India's telecommunication landscape, ensuring that even the remotest area are not left behind in our digital journey. And let's put our hands together to welcome our guest of honor, Shri A. Robert J. Ravi, for his kind address.
Respected RU, so Administrator Sab, I think Shashidhar and my friend TV, Puneet, and our dignitaries on the dais, ladies and gentlemen, it's again a pleasure to be again with you all here in the second broadband summit. And in the first, I was around first, just leave it. I think when we talk about broadband, as TV was mentioning and Puneet was also mentioning, the world is completely converging. Those days when we talk about this, broadband was there more than 20 years now. We have been talking about broadband for 20 years. But if you see the real broadband speed-wise on the penetration, as TV put in one of the slides, we have hardly touched 12% in India. Of course, the global average may be a little more, but still we have a long way to go to taste the real success of broadband, even after 20 years. Because of evolving technology, we may claim that our mobile penetration on the data side may have reached 83%. If you do what is the real data speed of a real broadband speeds, on which we can have mobile data available, we are still a long way to go. So with this, I think all of us know that we always talk about, in any other broadband forums, the very important talk we say, a 10% growth will increase X% in GDP. This is all we have learned. But another very interesting statistics that has come up is, if I can give a high-speed internet access to my youth and my population, I can increase the job opportunity by 10 to 13% when we offer such high-speed data. There's no doubt on this. The societal changes, societal needs of whatever I think last time I spoke about in DOT, we had trying to do what we call the intelligent villages. Unless, whatever may be your technology that you bring today, you talk about the AI learned analytics or the blockchain for the trusted network, or any of the sensors which take, the IoT sensors which can take data and do analytics. Unless these information are really assimilated and reach the society, the benefits of the society, there's no use of this technology. So we try to do this as part of this intelligent villages, as we all know. Can I take high-speed networks to the villages? We selected some 10 villages and we are growing in 1,000 numbers. Now, on one side, when I was trying to say we are going on a converged network, we can not only think, yes, I will offer only high-speed data only on fiber base. With the technological revolution going on, we can pack more bits in even hertz in your wireless. So I can even reach even 1G. Yeah, it's possible. Technologies are available. We talk about 6G technologies where we even talk about terahertz. So the ultimate, the user point of view, he is not worried about whether you give it on a fiber, on a wireless or a SATCOM. He is worried about what the speed we give and what is the quality of experience he gets on this. On this, one of the other thing which we all know is there should be always a combination of all, a converged media of all. Probably that's why Wi-Fi became one of the popular hotspots which TV was mentioning. In BSNL, we are trying to do a bit, we call it Sarvatra Wi-Fi, where anyone can walk anywhere and then be able to access. We are trying to attempt one such in a few states. So where we are trying to say, can I offer even speeds of 100 M to each villages? And thankful to you, so we are even trying to pilot this out from around more than 1,000 villages, where I can really say, can I offer 100 M in each of these villages? While that is going to be the great arena where we speed, the societal needs of, say, your education, your health, every aspect of this will automatically grow when we try to give this connectivity. It's not the connectivity of the unconnected. Only when you connect the unconnected, the real development happens. Of course, with this small thing, I wanted also touch a bit upon what the future of broadband, what is the expectation of the customer today. When we go and meet the customer, what the customer thinks about. These are the key trends today. People talk about what we have. Can I have something like fiber to, every room? Fiber to every room means the speed of 1G or 10G, which we can assure on fiber, can I take to each room? So a new concept of fiber to rooms has been evolving. I think that's the issue on it. So can we really touch about this interaction of the fiber-like thing on the room where I can assure customers up to 1G? And with the real evolution of AI and self-optimization, technologies that were available, but networks could automatically optimize to the best. And with new methodology like managed networks, ad hoc networks that is going to come into play, we are going to see automatic self-optimization of the network which will enable the customer really get what he needs. And this is also coming with new areas in energy. We call self-sustaining energy. So we are going to see devices where you charge once and leave it. For 50 years, you don't need to charge. So that's the other new things areas coming up. We are talking about a different green energy, efficient thing. All this is going to drive, we were all talking about, can I see 4K video? Can I see 8K video on my mobiles? This is the one which we are thinking about. A new trend is evolving. Can I go into a complete immersive media, XR, VR, AR, where I can really feel into an immersive action. That is again the leveraging. These are going to be the trend that is going to keep network really bandwidth hungry applications. And our PON, the age-old PON, we started about GPONs, CPONs, EPONs, etc. Now we are even talking about next generation PONs where new techniques are also evolving in the PON environment also. And the operator side also, we also think about how I can segmentize customers and operate and give them a quality of experience with tired media so that I can even still play around with my premium customers. So this is the general trend that is happening. On the other side, the entire network of the fiberization, the fiber penetration is all moving into what we call a one network area. We talk about OTN, transfer networks, we talk about MAN networks, and these are all being made today made in India by our own companies. We are not talking about which we are using from other companies. The made in India products which we can do, and such products today can directly plug and play, not only enterprise related things. You can even plug and play your BTSs. You can plug and play your houses with XR videos. And we can plug and play any industrial IR. We are also doing DOT, we are trying to do a research on impact of IR 4.0 in the MSME sector. We have identified 10 sectors and some research areas are going on. When this industry itself need to really revamp, you have this IR 4.0 come into play. That is going to again take a lot of bandwidth, not in gig, maybe 1 gig or 10 gigs, etc. So with this, the key metrics is, we can see a substantial reduction in the consumer complaints and a real increase in NFS. With all this, again, going back to what I say, the AI-led optimization, that is another very key area that is happening. Not only on the mobile networks, it could happen in your core networks, in your edge networks, any networks. Now we are even talking about MECs, mobile edge computing, where I can push the computing to the edges, the devices. In 6G, they say even your devices can act like antennas. It can reflect, each of our mobile phones can act as an antennas. So that will help in a real self-optimization. It's a very good initiative that we have, the government, we are also pushing, and there are a lot of Indian firms which we are also developing. We have our own indigenous technology available, which is also able to push this in a date way, where we can do real predictive analytics, real automation, real-time decision making, on the fly, a decision could be taken. Now, going into the speed, we all listened about, as I mentioned, we were all talking about VoIPs, 4K videos, 8K videos. You can see that each homes are now going to go XRVO, real analytic, which is going to take up to how much? 2 gig each one of your rooms that we talk about. On the right hand side, you can see that there is going to by 2026, going to be exponential growth in various services the customer is requiring, from videos, from real-time video application, the pay channels, entertainment, XR, VR applications, etc. This is on one side. We as operator also slowly moving into what we call how efficiently I can serve my customers. Can I develop some sort of a metaverse environment where the customer walks into my metaverse environment and will be able to solve any of his activities immediately, which also requires, could be a complete virtual environment, which could be also built on a platform in his own place, in his own room. That is what we call real extended reality on general AI, which is going to be leveraged today by many of the players. Of course, you know, today worldwide some of the players have already started. BSNL also is already trials that we have started on these particular way of metaverse thing. Can I really do some sort of a real metaverse environment for my customers? This is going to be really capturing really your bandwidth hungry customers. And this is what I was mentioning on the trend of the consumers and from the operator point of view. All along we have been talking about a pure high-speed tired network. We were thinking, okay, can I put a Wi-Fi router? I can put one, and then probably I'll have a low speed, medium speed, high speed. I can segment my customers, high speed customers, premiums, medium or low speed customers, accordingly charge. This concept is completely changing into what we call QE based tiering, quality of experience. Which means the operators are coming out with different ideas. Can I still segment it? Maybe a low will still remain, a medium will still remain. But in high segment, can I add more features? Quality of service, Wi-Fi mesh. Can I create a mesh area for them and provides premium support? These are some of the things that is going to really require as we grow upon the requirement. We expect by 2030, every house will require a 10G and every enterprise will require even TV. That is what the prediction which we have, under which the underlying network needs to be developed. If the broadband industry has to grow, it has, when the sector of the broadband goes need to do, we need to plan this very important model. Another very interesting thing which is coming up is what we call one service for all model, which was earlier into completely differentiated app. With new technologies available, using my mobile sector, I can have slicing. I can slice the entire network in my 5G. I can offer any end-to-end auditing, control, mechanism to the end user. As a customer, I can offer a services where you can do your own auditing, control, error. We something like a dumb pipe which the operators can give. So that is the amount of things which are also being planned across it. We are also trying this out in a few places, where one classic example will be an examination centers, where can I have examination papers being distributed half an hour before the actual examination, where the complete audit and control through a printer being really printed online is being made. These are some of the service-oriented networks that we try to create as operators using the same physical infrastructure. This will allow us to also create some premium pricing, which different network characteristics, which could really help and serve the customers in a better one, pushing customers from what we have, real high ARPU customers. With this, I think this is the wave that is going on. We talked about all the leading operators today. We are just, right now we are only in BB3 and BB4, where we are just talking about what HD or UHD 4G. And a bit of XR/VR we are trying to do in some selected cities, not everywhere. But in 3 to 4 years, we are going to think about what we have 5.5, where we will have a complete free viewpoint, metaverse environment in a workplace, everywhere, computing. Your entire house could become your workspace. For that, you require high-speed internet. And just next to it, what we have a real mission-critical application on an industrial automation, complete end-to-end, with total high-speed, running even up to terabits for each enterprise. 3.2 terabits, that's the estimate they have for each enterprises, will become a reality. So in summary, these are the 6 key themes that is going to define and set the stage for the broadband in future, which, friends, we need to really look at and plan ourselves, either as an operator or as an OEM or as a device manufacturer, to see that the 6 key things are augmented customer experience, which I explained to you, new age integrations, irrespective of whether it is NGN, 100G, 10G, you should have a perfect new age tech integration happening. Tiered quality of experience. Non-terrestrial networks, that's very, very interesting. Irrespective of whether you are in a spaceship or in a submarine or in a satellite or in your land, you should have a seamless connectivity. That's what thought about it. And we also talk about one service all model and real high-tech, ultra-high-tech networks that uses optimization. Friends, yes, we have a long way to go from India. As I mentioned, the real broadband, whatever we claim we may have 83%, real broadband is today 8 crores to around 10 crores. We need to see that at least can I do this penetration to 12, double it? Can I double it further? Can I reach 24% of my household penetration by 24? And this is a reality. This is the vision of the Prime Minister's vision, where we launched our Digital India initiative in 2015, and we really thought about a thought-provoking area of the scale, the speed, and the scope of this transformation is really imaginative. That's what the Prime Minister has mentioned. This will actually set the goal to a real universal high-speed internet access that really bridges the digital divide, harness all the emerging technologies, and will become the key tenets of the 2047 vision of the country. Thank you, friends.
Thank you very much indeed, sir, for your valuable insights and for highlighting the BSNL's role in expanding connectivity across India. Your commitment to bridging the digital gap is certainly inspiring. We now have the pleasure of hearing from industry leaders who are innovating solutions to strengthen India's broadband infrastructure. Ladies and gentlemen, we've just been informed our guest of honor has a pressing appointment and will want to leave. So we would request our Honorable Chief Guest, sir, to kindly do the honors of presenting him a token of gratitude and appreciation on behalf of the organizers. A small memento to our guest of honor. Thank you very much indeed, sir, for doing the honors. Thank you, sir, for gracing this occasion and for that wonderful address we had from you. Ladies and gentlemen, let's once again put our hands together for our guest of honor to convey our gratitude and appreciation to sir. So, ladies and gentlemen, we now have the pleasure of hearing from our industry leaders who are innovating solutions to strengthen India's broadband infrastructure. And first, I would like to invite Mr. Sanjay Nagpal, Director, Go-to-Market, Taara, to kindly share his view on innovative connectivity solutions that are transforming the digital landscape. And let's put our hands together, ladies and gentlemen, to welcome Mr. Sanjay Nagpal.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Sanjay Nagpal. I'm the Go-to-Market Director for Taara. Taara is a part of X, not the Twitter X, but Google X. And X is the innovation engine inside Alphabet. So Taara is built from the innovation engine of Alphabet. First of all, I want to thank Mr. Shaildhar and the organizers for including me in this panel of very esteemed gentlemen and for sharing what Taara is doing in India. How do I go down? Okay, thank you. Okay, so Taara is a moonshot at X. What is a moonshot? A moonshot is a breakthrough innovation using radical new technology to solve some of the most challenging problems. If you see on the screen there, you may recognize some of the moonshots that X has delivered. The self-driving cars, these are autonomous cars called Waymo, drones called Wings. We are working on moonshots like ocean health through a moonshot program called Tidal. But the one we are going to talk about today is the one on the bottom left called Taara, which means the North Star. So the moonshot for Taara is to deliver affordable and abundant internet access to communities that are very difficult to reach. And we do that using very narrow beams of light. Many of you know it's called free space optics. But let me explain why we wanted to use the optical spectrum. We at Taara believe the next several decades belongs to the optical spectrum. The RF spectrum has done great service to the telecom market over the last several decades. We have seen technologies evolve from 1G to 5G. And if you see, there's a push to move to higher and higher frequency bands. It's because you need a lot of spectrum to deliver high data rate capacity to the end users. But now, once you reach the gigahertz band, 60 gig, 70 gig, 80 gigahertz, you hit a wall of performance. RF propagation is impacted by atmospheric conditions like rain, oxygen absorption at those high frequencies. So why not jump to the optical spectrum where there's abundant spectrum available, it's unlicensed, and there is no interference. Now, agreed that there are going to be challenges because of atmospheric conditions in this terahertz band, but that's the challenge Taara has taken. We have been working for many years to make our free space optical solutions very sturdy, very reliable, and cost competitive, and today we are commercially viable, and we continue to make progress in the spectrum because we believe this is where the future needs to go to look for more spectrum. At a very, very high level, the Taara solution comprises of two units, they're called terminals, that can be as far as 20 kilometers. And you can beam 20 gigabits of connection in both directions using these narrow beams of light. Now, Taara has developed very special technology using sensors and cameras to enable this to happen. We have developed advanced tracking techniques which allow us to point, align, track, and lock these signals in less than an hour. So now we have very sturdy links that stay in place even when the towers are swaying or there's movement in the air. That's the technological development that Taara has done to make these free space optic links very, very sturdy and reliable. Not only that, these terminals have been built for commercial rollout, so they are light in weight and they consume only 40 watts of power to deliver 20 gigabits of internet traffic. So you can literally power these up with solar power. And of course, they're eye safe for any installer or anyone who comes in the way. So as we have progressed over the last many years, working with partners all over the world, we have realized it is very important to make the product very versatile for deployments. So we have worked through different tracking mechanisms, mounting mechanisms, and today these Taara links can be installed on cell towers, on rooftops, on sides of buildings, even literally on the ground using a tripod. And this is very, very important because lots of places where you want to give connectivity, you don't have access to towers. So you have to build a solution to be very, very versatile. We started right here in India, in Andhra Pradesh in 2017, when we started connecting rural communities. Today, we have installed Taara links in over 15 countries. We work with different partners. We work with mobile network operators. We work with fiber operators. We work with broadband ISPs. And we also work with the defense sector. The interest from the defense sector is because these beams of light cannot be detected. And then we scramble the information so you can communicate between a base and say Javans or other military personnel, and the communication is totally covert. So there's an application on the defense side as well. Today, I will just focus on how we are partnering with fiber operators here in India and other parts of the world. So with fiber operators, there are three ways Taara comes to play. The first is when it's very difficult to trench fiber, or you don't have right of way and there are communities that you need to connect. Or in some cases, there may be communities, but the cost of laying fiber may be very prohibitive. So in that case, our partners are using Taara as an alternative to fiber. A more common case is there may be fiber. It could be in the ground or it could be aerial, but there's a risk of the fiber getting cut. And think about critical events. Think about games. Think about concerts. Think about even cell towers, where if you have fiber as the only source of connectivity and there's a cut, now the whole network goes down. So we are used in a lot of cases to provide resilience to fiber as a backup and sometimes even as a primary link. And the third one that is used very commonly here in India is when permits are delayed or it takes time and there's a community that has to be served. The fiber operators are using Taara to connect these communities, give them 20 gigabits of connection, and when fiber is available, they can move our links to other locations. So it's used as a temporary resource. Here is an example of how we are partnered in Africa with a group called the Econet Group. They are one of the largest fiber providers in Africa. So the Econet Group, as you can see, they are bringing fiber into the country of Kenya through the port of Mombasa. From Mombasa, they have trenched 300 to 400 kilometers to lay fiber to Nairobi. But there's a very, very dense neighborhood called Pipeline, just 2 or 3 kilometers from Nairobi, where it's impossible to trench fiber because it's very, very densely populated. So what Econet did is they partnered with an ISP called POA Internet. They installed a Taara link from Nairobi to a rooftop in Pipeline, and they brought in 20 gigabits of connectivity. From our Taara link, they're using fiber to the home to wire up all these multi-dwelling units. Within a matter of a few months, there was so much data, petabytes of data every month, that POA had to put a second link of Taara right next to each other, and now we are beaming 40 gigabits into a community that was totally unconnected, and there are tens of thousands of people who have pure broadband experience in this neighborhood. So this is an example where we are using Taara as the middle mile and fiber to the home as the last mile. This is in Vijayawada when we started, like I said, back in 2017. We are plugging middle mile gaps and providing 20 gigabits. So there's a lot of rural communities that are connected, using fixed wireless or any other last mile solution. This is an interesting application right here near Delhi. We have a partner here called Bluetown. Bluetown wanted to serve all these green areas where there's lots of people who want internet access, but it was impossible to lay fiber. So we partnered with Bluetown, and they have connected the red lines you see are Taara links in a back-to-back relay configuration. There were some locations which are in yellow where there was fiber available, but with a dozen links, they have gone 140 kilometers from Loni, the point of presence of fiber, all the way past Muzaffarnagar. And then from this backbone of 20 gigabits using Taara, they're using fixed wireless access to serve thousands of users. They would have spent literally years to lay fiber. You can see how dense all these neighborhoods are near Delhi, and they've completed this in 4 months and at a much, much lower cost, a back-to-back relay configuration with Taara links. This is with our partner Airtel. This is just one application with them. We do several applications. This is a case where there's a community that needs to be served. There's a waterway in the path. It would take a long time to lay fiber, so Airtel connected this community using Taara links, and over time, when fiber was available, they have moved our links to other locations. In closing, I would like to say that Taara is working very hard to bring free space optics in a real, scalable, commercial way. We have had a lot of success here in India and in other parts of the world, but we have a vision to roll Taara links in a much bigger scale. What you see here is a network of Taara links. Think about a whole community or a whole city covered with free space optical links, similar to LEO satellites from Starlink or Kuiper. Now you blanket covered a whole neighborhood with 20 gigabits, and multiple ISPs can give true broadband experience, which is what our gentlemen here were emphasizing, true broadband experience to users because you have a 20 gigabit network in the air around them. What Taara will do here is build this as a smart network, which means this is a self-healing network. When there are parts of this network where there are weather conditions that are not good, we can predict that, and we can move that traffic into areas of good weather. And when the weather condition lifts, we will move that traffic back. So this is a very resilient 20 gigabit network of Taara links. We can also do load balancing and several other things. We are bringing this network of links with partners in Africa, and we look forward to bringing it to India and a lot more products and solutions to the Indian market to bridge the digital divide. That's all I had. Thank you. I'll be around if you have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed, Mr. Nagpal, for your insights on the Taara initiative and how it is driving the last mile connectivity through the innovative solutions. Ladies and gentlemen, next I invite Mr. Andrew Bond Webster, Vice President, Broadband APAC Commscope, to discuss the Commscope's role in enhancing broadband access and supporting the digital connectivity efforts across Asia-Pacific region. So let's welcome Mr. Andrew Bond Webster for his industry address.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and to my esteemed colleagues on the panel. I'd like to say thank you to all of you for inviting me to participate in this forum. It's quite humbling to be with such an august company of individuals and companies and representatives. What is striking to me is that we all have the same objective. The objective that we all share, I believe, is to ensure that we bring connectivity and the benefits of connectivity to everybody in the world. I think it is very well known and understood, and I think very well explained by my earlier colleague as to the benefits that bringing broadband connectivity to individuals, to households, to corporations, to nations has, the growth that it can drive, the support that it can deliver to an economy is quite staggering. So I think we all have an obligation and a need to deliver that to the world. Commscope is pleased to be able to play its part, and I will touch a little bit on some of the solutions that we bring. But clearly, broadband connectivity, internet connectivity, whatever you care to call it, is absolutely essential to the world. It is driving economies, it is driving enterprises, it is driving households, it is driving individuals, and it is driven by many different applications, some of which we explain here. I'm not going to go into great detail because, to be honest, I think a lot of this topic has already been covered by my colleagues earlier. What is clear, however, is things like AI and technologies of AI are going to continue to drive the need and the demand for bandwidth in nations, in households, and in enterprises. The applications also bring with them, for a service provider, challenges. And I think this is very much where Commscope is focused, is how can we help, how can we deliver solutions that are going to enable our customers to deliver quality of service, experience to their customers. So our customers, we're very much focused on delivering outcomes for our customers so that their benefits can be shared with the community in general. What does that mean? Customers need, the end customer requires low latency. They're requiring ever and ever higher bandwidth. They're looking for reliability. They're looking for quality of service, and of course, most importantly, they're looking for accessibility. Broadband networks are of no use to the world in general if they are not available to the world in general. Bandwidth is growing. Of that, there is absolutely no doubt. Driven by applications, driven by different needs, different requirements. QoS, latency, and bandwidth and capacity are fundamental to delivering the ultimate experience to the end user. We've seen, and I think it's been very well amplified earlier by the rate of bandwidth. What's interesting is, if I look at some of the statistics that we talked about earlier, my statistic says that we've gone from 0.8 of a gigabyte to 24 gigabytes per user per month. I think my esteemed colleague from earlier was talking about 400 gigabytes. I think all that proves is we don't actually know in general how much is being used and how much is demanded. What is very clear, however, is the demand for bandwidth has grown. It is going to continue to grow. You can debate at what speed is it going to continue to grow, at what rate is it going to continue to grow, but it is going to continue to grow. And our service provider customers and their customers have different needs, and they need to be able to satisfy all these different requirements from their customer base. Some, undoubtedly, as we heard earlier, are going to be price sensitive. Some are going to be bandwidth sensitive. Their primary criteria is going to be how much bandwidth is available. For others, it's going to be how much is it going to cost me. If I can't get it at a price I can afford to pay, it is of very little value to me. I have to be able to buy and to benefit from at a price that I can afford. For others, it is going to be speed, it is going to be latency. And for others, it is going to be an even bigger combination of bandwidth, reliability, speed, price, latency. All of those factors will determine how quickly and how they use the network, how they're going to access that network. The service provider challenge, I believe, is to ensure that they can meet all those disparate requirements. It was very well explained earlier. You have the low user, you have the medium user, you have the premium user. Our job as Commscope is to ensure that we enable our customers to meet the needs of all of those disparate users. Technology is changing all the time. Where we are on this graph is perhaps a matter of some debate, but what is very clear is that as the demand for bandwidth continues to grow, we need to continue to evolve the technology, and the technology has been continuing to evolve. The approximate rate of change on the technology, if you look at GPON, XGS-PON, 25 gig GS-PON, it changes, it evolves at a rate of about every 10 years. That's what we have seen, that's what we've experienced. I think other technologies, I would argue, will come along, and the rate of change will need to increase as the rate of network demand, bandwidth demand continues to grow. That cycle will need to change, and the speed of new innovation will need to change. My earlier colleague from Taara was speaking very eloquently about the technology that they're bringing and how they see the evolution from the radio spectrum to the optical spectrum, and that in itself will enable greater access, greater density, greater utilization, increase the user base. So the technology, without any shadow of a doubt, is going to continue to change and to evolve, and it needs to. And it needs to continue to meet the demands of the users who require more and more and more data. Also, conversely, in the challenge for the service providers is they wanted a lower price. I've been in this industry for a number of years. One thing is certain. Price very rarely goes up. It generally only ever goes down. And that is the challenge that the service providers have to meet, is how do they provide more and more data at a less and less price over time. Bandwidth growth into the future, as I said, you can argue what is it actually going to be. Is it going to be at 30% per year? Is it going to be 20% annual growth rate? Is it going to be 10% annual growth rate? We've come up with this term of cone of uncertainty. Whether it's uncertain or not, there is one certain fact, and that is that the rate of growth of network demand and the network bandwidth demand is going to increase. Even if you just look out to that 30%, you're talking about the next 10 years. The rate of growth of bandwidth is going to be 30% per year. It's absolutely staggering. And for my colleagues from Airtel, from BSNL, from Geo, the challenge is how do they meet that demand? How do they continue to build out their networks and use technology to enable them to meet the demand of their customers? At Commscope, our job is to understand how we can help them meet their end customer demands. Overall, over the next 17 years, you come up with about bandwidth growth of about 10% per year as an average. As I say, you can make these we can make these predictions, the industry can make these predictions. I would probably suggest that one thing that's certain is that the prediction's going to be wrong. I believe it's likely to be higher. But from a service provider point of view, it doesn't really change. The need is for us to continue to provide solutions that meet the customer's demands, whether it's greater bandwidth, lower latency, higher reliability, all of those are the demands that the industry has. One of the things that we look at Commscope is how can we, as I've said, is how can we help our service provider customers, our network operator customers, deliver solutions to their customers? How can we enable them to deploy networks that are more easier, simpler for them to deploy, with less splices, enables them to roll out networks, faster commissioning times, higher applicability, greater coverage, reduce cost, reduce their cost, minimize the labor costs involved, reduce the need for skilled labor. Why is that important to them? Because it means they can deliver services to their customers at a faster rate. It also means that they can deploy networks at a lower cost. Our challenge is to reduce our cost to them. So we have this solution called Flex ODN. My colleague will be speaking later on in the technical forum, and he will go into significantly more detail as to how Flex ODN actually works, how you can deploy a Flex ODN network, and how our service provider customers can get benefit from the solution that we provide, the Flex ODN solution. And really there are two key thoughts that I would like to leave you with regards to Flex ODN. One is the total cost of deployment can be reduced by using Flex ODN. Total cost of deployment can translate into lower cost for the end user, lower cost for the service provider. It also translates into a reduced time to construct a network. Customers are extremely demanding in terms of how quickly they can actually get access to service. So we look to provide solutions which enable our service providers to deploy networks more quickly. Overall, we can deliver 30% overall savings on deployment cost and 43% saving on times it takes to construct a network. You can see from the slide here how we do that with the intangible benefits using XGS-PON, faster commissioning, fewer splices, design efficiencies, etc. As I said, my colleague will be talking about these in more detail later on in the technical session. So very quickly, why Commscope? Commscope is a global organization. We have over 22,000 innovators, we've got 13,000 patents, and we spend a significant amount of money each year on R&D. You need to continue to invest in R&D in this industry if you are to stay relevant, if you are to deliver solutions for our customers. With regards to Commscope in India, we have a number of strategic assets. I'm very pleased and proud to say that Commscope has a very significant footprint in India. I look after Asia Pacific. I first came to India in the telecoms industry back in 1993. I think I had my first meeting with VSNL. My hair was almost blonde in those days. Today I dye it a delicate shade of gray. But I stood with awe, and this is very sincere and very genuine comment. I have stood and watched with awe how India has transformed over that 40 years. It is really quite staggering for me, and I am very pleased to be part of the process, first of all as a service provider and now as a vendor. And I'm very pleased to be able to continue that journey by working with Commscope. We have a very significant footprint to deliver solutions not only to service providers in India, but we leverage the value and the capabilities and the skills that we see and we have in India elsewhere across the Asia Pacific market. So again, very pleased to be here. I'd like to thank you very much once again for inviting me to be part of this forum, and I look forward to meeting you and working with you in the future. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed, Mr. Webster. We are really honored, and thank you for sharing Commscope's contribution to advancing the broadband solutions in India and beyond. And now moving forward, we are privileged to hear from one of the key figures driving network partnerships in one of India's major telecommunication companies, Bharat Airtel. It gives me pleasure to invite Mr. Dharmendra Khajuria, the National Head of Network Partnerships at Bharat Airtel. Sir will share his insights on Airtel's role in building network partnerships and its contributions towards ensuring reliable connectivity across the country, essential for realizing the vision of connected and digital India. So let's welcome Mr. Dharmendra Khajuria for the operator's address.
Good morning, all. Thanks, Andrew, for speaking so graciously about the transformation which you have seen in India. I'm here not to bore you with the technical specification, technical points, but what I'm trying to do in the next 10 minutes is talking about how India has transformed, what we as an industry have done to transform that, to bring that digital revolution and connecting the unconnected. As of now, when I'm speaking to you, almost 85% TVRs are talked about, teledensity. Around 85% is the teledensity. If you look at from a coverage perspective, almost 90-95% of the coverage we have already provided as a mobile telephony. But when we come to the wireline, probably a lot needs to be done. I'll just come to that. And our Honorable Prime Minister has already launched the Digital India program. How does this move? Yeah, thanks. So, when we are saying Digital India, I think this is a program which Honorable Prime Minister had launched, supported by DOT, that, so that the broadband can reach to the far-flung areas. And it is very clear, if you look at from a teledensity perspective, there is a strong correlation between a teledensity and the GDP of a country. And when we are talking about Digital India, we are speaking about, digital economy, a knowledge economy. That is what we are, looking at. Now, I'm just showing a decadal, what as an industry we have done in the last 1 decade. If you look at, BTS from a level of 8 lakh in, say, 2014 to till this time, almost 28 lakhs. From a tower perspective, around 4 lakh, currently around 8 lakh towers are there. From a OFC perspective, since we are discussing broadband, that too wireline broadband, so it is almost 11 lakh to close to 40 lakh is the kilometer of fiber which is already there. And broadband subscriber, amazingly, from 61 million to 861. That is a kind of revolution which has happened in India. I mean, a huge round of applause to each one of us, to the stakeholders who have done that. Yeah, moving on. Yeah, but is it enough? I think most of the speakers have already discussed it is not enough. If we look at what the figures where world is, and TV sir in the morning already discussed that, but I'm just re-emphasizing that. You look at fixed broadband per 100, it is only 2.36, in India kind of a population. And if we see, world is standing at around 17 to 18. If we look at, wireless broadband, it is 56, 57 compared to 87. I think TVRs talked about 100 odd numbers. So I'm not debating the numbers here, but what I'm trying to say, huge gap from a wireline perspective, from a wireless perspective. Now, if I just want to bring your attention back, I discussed teledensity 85, but here when we are saying broadband, it is only 57, 58. There is a difference. Where is the difference? Almost more than 330 million people are still with a feature phone. So that is one issue which we need to solve. That is not going to be solved through, laying the fiber. I think that is one issue. Probably, all the stakeholders here on that dais, industry leaders, we need to put our heads together and see how can we solve that. Now, I discussed the digital revolution, the kind of work which industry has done. Now let's see how this transformation has happened. People are talking about India is transforming, and that's really, I really feel proud about it. But how is it happening? What is the government which is doing? How the industry, as industry, what we are doing? Let me, talk a bit about it. Yeah. Now, these are the ITR rules, right-of-way rules. Since we are discussing fiber, so we have to have a right-of-way to lay the fiber. On ITR, government had multiple acts. There were multiple acts, starting from 1885 to 1933 to 1950. There were many acts which were dealing with, Indian telegraph, Indian telegraphy, wrongful possession. I think all those acts, now the government has simplified it really beautifully. What they have done, they first ROW rules 2016 came, amendment came in 22, then amendment in 23, and now finally, we are seeing the telecom bill which has already been passed. The telecom rules are being framed. So all those rules will be in the public domain hopefully in the next month. And then we personally feel as an industry that, many things are going to be solved. with the help of those rules, because all those rules have the legal backing. On the screen, if you see, 28 states and UTs put together out of 36 have already adopted the rules. So that means if the rules have been adopted, there is going to be a progress on the right-of-way permissions, and it is going to help all of us to lay the fiber to connect the people. Now, these are the rules and these are the charges. Why am I putting up charges in a forum like that? I'm just bringing it to your notice that the government has been really very, very quick and transparent, decisive. I mean, they have already talked about what are the kind of charges if you are putting up a tower for mobile telephony or mobile broadband. If you want to lay the fiber, what are going to be the charges? If you are using the poles, if you are using the pole for overhead fiber, what are the kind of charges? So the government has been really, really supportive, and that's the reason industry can progress in a country and the country can transform. I'm bringing another point here. These are the thousands of kilometers of fiber which is already laid out. If you see BSNL, BBNL put together, almost 1,300 kilometers is there. Similarly, Power Grid has got, Jio has got, we have got Voda, Idea, Tata, everyone has up. We as an industry, we have certain tie-up with certain operators where we can share the fiber. But here I'm just stirring your thoughts. Why can't we have some kind of arrangement where the fiber which is laid becomes a national asset? I mean, why can't we share the fiber? So this is, we have definitely as a professional, as a TSP, we have our individual, revenue targets, revenue objectives to achieve. But at the same time, if India has to grow, if this has, this is the dream that India should become digital, then why can't we look at all the fiber which is available so that fixed broadband can reach every nook and corner? I'll just give you an example. Now, Gati Shakti Sanchar portal which was launched, in that the intention was to see what are the kind of works which are happening in India. Whether if somebody is laying a road, somebody is building a national highway, somebody is trying to put a gas pipeline, and that was made to connect 19 art departments to see what needs to be done. Under that initiative, now we are working very closely with the NHLML, which is an arm of NHAI, which are building, as a pilot 3 or 4 national highway projects. The first one they are building is Delhi-Mumbai, 1,300 plus kilometers, and they are laying the fiber. They are trying to build the digital highways. And we as an industry are connected with them. We are advising them what are the kind of fiber which will be requiring, where they need to create a telecom room kind of a thing. All those things they are working very, very closely. So that means what? That means once that highway has been laid, it is a digital highway where the connectivity in terms of mobile telephony, in terms of broadband is going to be there. And they're not stopping here. They have a plan of doing 20 odd. Similar kind of schemes, we are talking to the government, we are working closely with them just to ensure, with the regulations becoming very, supportive, these kind of projects, we should be working very closely with the industry, whether it is a gas industry, whether it is, say, Jal Jeevan Mission. Now, if you see, Jal Jeevan Mission is working very finely in certain states. Why can't the government work with us and we can work with the government to ensure that with the water pipeline, we start deploying our fiber? I mean, these are the kind of things which we have to think, and these are not some rocket science. This is not out of the box thinking. It is simply saying anybody who is digging the road, why can't we lay a fiber? This is just one, suggestion. Second thing is, there are certain areas, say, deserts, forests, and there are areas like, we have a geography in Leh Ladakh. On those things, we are already, as a company, we are already working with Taara, which are suggesting a solution where laying the fiber is difficult or maintaining the fiber is difficult. So all in all, we are saying as industry, we have progressed really well. But what we need to do, what we have done in the last 1 decade, probably the time has come that we need to do it in next 1 or 2 years. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much indeed, sir, for your informative address on how Airtel Broadband is leveraging 5G and air fiber to enhance India's wireless connectivity landscape. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now my distinct honor to introduce Honorable Chief Guest Shri Neeraj Verma ji, IAS Administrator Digital Bharat Nidhi, Department of Telecommunications, Ministry of Communications. Sir joined the Indian Administrative Service in 1994 in the Assam Meghalaya cadre, worked in the districts of NC Hills, Nagaon, Golpara, Sipsagar, and as the district magistrate in Dibrugarh. Was posted at MD Assam Industrial Development Corporation, AIDC, and as Commissioner and Secretary Industries, Information Technology, Agriculture, Science and Technology, and Chief Minister's Office till 2011. Joined Ministry of Road Transport and Highways as Joint Secretary, was posted as member PPP, National Highway Authority of India, NHAI, and also held additional charge as member Finance till December 2016. Was posted as Principal Secretary Power, Government of Assam, was also holding charge as Chairman of 3 power utilities for generation, transmission and distribution, that is APGCL, AEGCL and APDCL. Held additional charge of Additional Chief Secretary, Home and Personal till November 2023. Presently working as Administrator, Digital Bharat Nidhi, DBN, which was earlier known as Universal Service Obligation Fund, UNOF, in the Department of Telecommunications. Ladies and gentlemen, Shri Verma ji has been a key figure in spearheading various initiatives to bridge the digital divide and ensure that India's telecommunications reach every citizen. So please put your hands together to welcome our Honorable Chief Guest for the inaugural address.
Distinguished dignitaries on the dais and dear friends, a very good morning to all of you. It's my privilege to be amongst you all on this important topic of connecting the unconnected by National Broadband Forum. And it's very difficult for me to be the last speaker when all the eminent speakers have given a detailed presentation and they have covered all the topic. So the presentation itself contained futuristic technology. So let us come back to some mundane topic. Few weeks back, we were grappling with a fundamental question. The question was that India's internet penetration is 85%, broadband penetration, and as you all know, our wired broadband connection is less than 4%. So the speed is also very good. Why should we invest money in wired broadband? And then we were also told to find out whether there is any country in a similar situation as India, where they have got a good wireless broadband, but very poor in wired broadband, and they have subsequently increased the broadband penetration. So we did a lot of data mining and we found out there is none. The reason is, it has been explained by the speakers. Geo has said that per FTTH connection, the consumption is around 400 GB per month. And we look at USOF, it is around 200 GB per connection per month. If you translate that in monetary terms, the cost of wireless per GB connection is around 10 rupees, whereas for FTTH connection wired, it is coming to 1 to 2 rupees per GB. So it's all about economics. So this I think is importance of broadband. ICRIER had done one study and said that 10% increase in internet subscribers in India will result in 3.2% increase in GDP growth rate. And 10% increase in India's mobile internet traffic will deliver 1.6% increase in India's GDP. We are implementing amended BharatNet project, where many of you must be knowing that we are going to invest more than 1,40,000 crore for setting up a network. It's not the mean. The broadband is not a mean, not the end. It is the means to an end. The projection is that once we have a broadband connectivity and once we ensure 99% uptime in villages, we will be able to trigger an economy of around $1 trillion in terms of e-commerce. I'll also share another anecdote. Few days back, I had gone to Chhattisgarh. And as a part of my field visit, I planned to go to one of the tower supported by us in Naxal area. It is a Geo tower. It was in Jabara village in Taara, and it's a Naxal affected area. So after traveling around 14 kilometers inside dense forest, we got an SOS call that you turn back because ours was a carcade and we would have attracted attention. So we turned back and came to a guest house, but I felt bad because Geo team had already reached there and the person was very eagerly waiting for us. So we called him over phone, which was a very good quality. We said that, of course, we are sorry that because of some reason we couldn't come. And we asked, what is the change you are feeling? And he said very interesting thing. He said that before mobile connection, they were in a state of despair. The youngsters had no job. No one will marry the girl in that village. And it was insurgent affected area. And said that, you can Google it, this Jabara is now famous for ecotourism. There are a lot of tourists who are going there. You know, the presence of tower has transformed the life. And that is what I want to say, that by connecting the unconnected, you are not just connecting them, but you are transforming their life. And I'm happy to tell you that all the three TSPs, whether it's Airtel, Jio or BSNL, they have done phenomenal job. In wireless connectivity, we have been looking at 4G saturation project, and we are going to set up around 26,000 towers in all far off areas, difficult areas like Jabara. Till now, in around a year, private TSPs have completed 73%. That's yesterday figure. And BSNL has done 53%. By December, we expect that more than 90% of these villages will be saturated with at least 4G connectivity. So 3 cheers to all these private TSPs and BSNL for doing phenomenal job. So in FTTH connection, where do we stand? As has been brought out, it's only less than 4% coverage of population. But if you look at the rural and urban divide, you find that 59% of urban household has got broadband connectivity, whereas only 41% in rural India is. and India doesn't figure in top 50 in terms of FTTH connection. So we have to focus on FTTH connection, we have to increase the penetration. And BharatNet, amended BharatNet is aimed at that. We will not only connect around 6.4 lakh villages, but we will also provide 1.5 crore FTTH connection to the households. And I was listening to some of the speakers saying that, they don't get fiber. I would like to say that the use of projects are national projects. The optical fiber of use of projects can be used by others. So our attempt is to ensure the uptime of more than 98-99%. And after that, we have 48 core, so some of them can be used by others. In fact, again, I'll cite an example of Reliance Jio. They are getting around 300 towers connected by, using the BBNL fiber. So this example is going to be more frequent and more widespread. We have also seen in the presentation that it was told that, this ROW change, there has been change in ROW after the act and rules. So I presumed that after that, the ease of doing business will definitely improve. In NBM, National Broadband Mission, which has been set up, we have done 1.0 and the progress has been quite satisfactory. We are now going to do NBM 2.0, where we will see that this permissions can be given in time. In fact, the figure which we have right now is that 20% of ROW applications are now being disposed within 15 days. This, we want to make it 80%, and I'm sure that with the new rules, we will be able to do it. This rule is going to be a uniform rule across the country. The second thing which I would like to say is, we have call before you dig, which has been a great enabler in preserving the fiber. I was discussing with my fellow speaker, and I was telling that we will also look at some policy intervention where, because mostly the optical fiber cut is taking place when there is a road widening. So like power transmission lines, like gas pipeline, if this is also included as a utility, and by the highway authorities, if it is shifted at the time of widening, this problem will also get solved over a period of time. So regarding policy intervention, apart from the rules, I would like to mention that we have also been promoting production linkages, 5G intelligent villages, and various special projects of use of project. You are all aware that we have connected Lakshadweep and Andaman and Nicobar through undersea cable. We are promoting new technology also, and we are thinking that especially for those far off remote areas where we will not be able to reach through optical fiber or any other means, we will use new technology, including satellite technology. One intervention I would like to mention here, it is that the network per se, broadband per se, will not be of much use unless the utilization improves. And in this regard, there was an agreement signed between Digital Bharat Nidhi, Prasar Bharati, and ONDC. I'm happy to inform you that very shortly this app is going to be launched, where a large number of channels, free channels will be available, and where we will start actually working on e-commerce. And BSNL is also taking similar steps. So, summing up, what are the challenges? I would say that frequent cut is a big challenge, which we have prioritized, and over the period of time, we want to solve it. The market failure in rural India, in terms of private investment, is a problem. While we request the, the industry to provide investment, as long as this market failure is there, there will be scope for DBN to provide investment. And third is high price elasticity for applications and OTT. So in going to the field in rural India especially, I have seen, if you provide connectivity, broadband connectivity at 100, 200 rupees, there is much more appetite. But the moment you increase the rate, the appetite changes. So in this, we will like to request the industry to think about an innovative solution, think about various applications where it is not just based on price. There can be advertisement, there can be special verticals like e-education, then e-commerce, and there's some sort of services which can be provided. For that, they can charge it. But general, basic packages could be made at affordable price. I'll sum up by saying that Indian telecom sector stands out as a prime example of progress, with an impressive 1.2 billion telephone subscribers, wireline and wireless, and notable tele-density of 85.85%, the figure which I have. India is the second largest telecom market and one of the most affordable in the world. Amid one of the fastest 5G rollout globally, India is already focusing on 6G technology, demonstrating its determination to lead in the digital realm. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed, sir, for your enlightening address and for sharing your thoughts on the Digital Bharat Nidhi initiative. Your efforts are certainly crucial to enabling connected and empowered India. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I have the privilege in requesting Honorable Chief Guest, Shri Neeraj Verma, sir, to kindly do the honors of presenting a token of gratitude and appreciation, a memento on behalf of the organizers to all our distinguished guests. May I request you, sir, to kindly present a token of gratitude to Shri Puneet Gargji, President and Group Wireline CTO, Reliance Jio. Thank you, sir. May I now request you, sir, to kindly present a token of gratitude to Mr. Dharmendra Khajuria, National Head, Network Partnerships, Bharti Airtel. We now present a token of gratitude to Shri Sanjay Nagpal, Director, Go-to-Market, Taara. And we now have the honor of presenting a token of gratitude to Mr. Andrew Von Webster, Vice President, Broadband, APAC, Commscope. I would request you, sir, to kindly honor our partners also. The summit is being powered by Taara. I would request you, sir, to kindly accept a small memento. And the summit is organized in association with Commscope. Thank you, Commscope, for your association. Requesting the representative to kindly come up to receive a small token of gratitude. Oh, we have on the days itself, the leaders, one of the leaders of Commscope. I invite representatives of our diamond partners, Norden, inviting a diamond partner, Uni, Setcom partner Hughes, Communications India. We also invite our conference partner, Drone Edge. And our associate partner, Anritsu, Advancing Beyond. Our representatives from Anritsu to kindly come up on the stage to receive a small token of gratitude from our Honorable Chief Guest. Norden is also here. Thank you, sir, for being our partners in organizing this event. And I would now request Mr. T.V. Ramachandran and Mr. Shaildhar to kindly come together to honor and felicitate our Honorable Chief Guest, Shri Neeraj Verma ji. We are extremely grateful to you, sir, for sparing your valuable time and gracing this occasion and for the insightful address we had from you. Thank you very much indeed. And as we conclude the opening session, it is my pleasure to invite Brigadier Anil Tandon, Director General of Broadband India Forum, to kindly propose the vote of thanks.
Good morning, or it's turning afternoon to every one of you. The distinguished dignitaries on the dais, Mr. Neeraj Verma, Digital Bharat Nidhi Administrator, Dr. Robert Ravi, who had to leave earlier, CMD BSNL, Mr. Puneet Garg, President and Group Wireline CTO from Reliance Jio, Mr. Dharmendra Khajuria, from National Head for the Network Partnerships, Bharti Airtel, Sanjay Nagpal, Director Go-to-Market for Google Taara, Mr. Andrew Bond Webster, Vice President Broadband APAC for Commscope, and Mr. T.V. Ramachandran, the President BIF, and Mr. Shaildhar, the Managing Director Bharat Exhibitions. Distinguished guests, delegates from the government, industry, academia, and the professional institutions, and members from the media. As we come to the end of the inaugural session of the Broadband India Summit, it's my honor and privilege to extend a vote of thanks to all our esteemed speakers, guests, government dignitaries, friends from the media, and this is Broadband India Summit is a flagship event of the Bharat Exhibitions and Broadband India Forum. This is the second year of hosting of this summit, and we intend to continue with hosting this as the years go by. I'd first like to thank our chief guest, Shri Neeraj Verma, Administrator DBN. Sir, we wish to thank you for taking time out of your extremely busy schedule and your support to grace this event as a chief guest. We understand that you're quite busy in finalizing the BharatNet 3 tender, which I think today is one of the biggest projects being undertaken in the country to spread the broadband to rural and unconnected areas. With you at the helm of the DBN, we are sure that this project would soon be finalized and get underway very soon. Next, I would like to thank Dr. Robert Ravi, who has left as the special guest of honor, and with BSNL as the execution arm. So I think we've had the two pillars of the BharatNet, the USOF or the DBN now, the DBN administrator, as well as the CMD of Bharat BSNL, who are going to roll out the BharatNet project. So this project should see very soon fructify and bring the benefits of broadband to the rest of the country. I'm grateful to the two other operators, Puneet Garg and Dharmendra Khajuria, who were representing Jio and Airtel, for finding time and providing the industry perspective in their endeavor to spread the broadband across the country. Also like to thank Mr. Sanjay Nagpal, Director Go-to-Market, Google Taara, Mr. Andrew Bond-Webster, Vice President Commscope, for their perspective on how the broadband should be proliferated in India and how newer technologies like the free space optics can lead to this. In the end, I would also like to warmly thank Mr. T.V. Ramachandran, President BIF, for an excellent context-setting talk at the beginning of the event, which stimulates the discussion for the rest of the sessions during the event. He's taken time off to specially come in for this event from Chennai, where he's normally staying. So really thankful to you, sir, for guiding us in the conduct of this event. And lastly, I would like to also extend thanks to Mr. Shaildhar, Managing Director, Bharat Exhibitions, and also the principal organizer of the event for putting this all together. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed, sir. And before we close the proceedings of the inaugural session, may I request our dignitaries to kindly come together in the front for a group photograph, please. So, ladies and gentlemen, this marks the conclusion of our inaugural session. We have had the privilege of hearing from industry leaders and policymakers who are working tirelessly to build a connected India. And on that note, once again thanking all our dignitaries, we will now take a short tea break of 10 minutes as we are already delayed for the next session, and esteemed chair Mr. Dua is already here with us for who would be chairing the next session. I would request everyone to kindly be very quick in having your cup of tea and coffee. We request you to kindly carry your cups back to the tables so that we can go ahead with the proceedings in time. Thank you very much indeed. Enjoy your cup of tea and kindly be back in time. We will go ahead with the proceedings of the next session at 12:15. Thank you.